Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my disaster zone of a room. I keep telling myself I'm going to clean it, but December is just a really busy time for me. It's weird. It went from, oh, December, I'm on break from school, it's a time to just relax, to now it's like the busiest point of my entire year because, well, mostly of YouTube and everything that I've involved myself in. 2025, wow, is almost over, and this has been simultaneously the longest and most dreadfully sluggish year of my life, while also feeling like it just started. When I think about things that happened in January, I'm like, wow, that was an eternity ago. But then I think about the fact that 2024 was 1 year ago, and it's like, no, that can't be right. I still struggle to write 2025 down when I write down the date. I still sometimes think, oh, it's 2024. Anyway, the end of the year is a fun time because you get to look back on everything that you did. Look back on hobbies and milestones and things that you accomplished. So, going off of the precedent from our last video where I told you about my Balisong of the year, which was the Bandage Knives Stitch V2, this video I want to talk about my favorite budget Balisongs of 2025. Because it seems like that is really where the most interest in the hobby is. If I get a question about Balisongs, 99% of the time it is someone asking about something in the sub $150 range. It seems like that's where the majority of the community is. And my favorite budget Balisong of 2025 is the cheese. That's why I'm holding it. That's why it was the title and the thumbnail. You kind of already guessed that as you came into this video. I know what you're going to say. This isn't a 2025 Balisong. This released last year. I know. I have some other picks here that actually released this year. But I think it is important to talk about and explicitly say in a video that the cheese is my favorite budget Balisong. Quick disclaimer. Budget being $65 to $70 that you pay for the cheese. I know it's expensive, but in the grand scheme of Balisongs, if you're new here, this is actually quite cheap for what you're getting. Cheap, again, I know it's expensive, but comparative to everything else, it is a budget Balisong. I also don't want this to turn into, oh, so you hate the Impulse? You said you like waffles, so that means you hate pancakes, right? No. The Impulse is great. The Canyon is great. The Orion is great. There's so many other Balisongs that are great in the sub $100 price range. This is my favorite one. I'm not telling you it's the one you need to go out and buy. It's my favorite. And the cheese is my favorite for a couple of reasons. Mostly it's the Balisong that I continue to come back to even after flipping $700, $800, $900 Balisongs, even over $1,000 Balisongs at Blade Show. I come back to the cheese and it just feels right. I described this thing when it first came out as kind of like a Kraken trainer of the budget realm, where it's just consistent and it does what you want it to do. And that has remained true all this time later. It really is crazy that this started out as a Balisong that I kind of started out kind of on. It's like, I think they're marketing it in kind of a strange way, but it's good. And now it is my clear favorite budget Balisong to flip. This is what is always in my bag. The Teflon coating makes grip for newcomers a little bit easier. The balance makes it so that you can learn both fans and rollovers very easily. And the balance makes it just genuinely consistent. This thing holds up to Balisongs that are double, maybe even triple its price easily. It doesn't beat them, doesn't make them worthless, but it holds up. You're not going to flip a way more expensive Balisong and then come back to the cheese and go, oh, this sucks. This isn't headphones. You're not paying $20 for earbuds. And then later on down the line, paying $200 for earbuds and then realizing just how much your $20 earbuds suck. That's what I love about budget Balisongs in 2025. The cheese is not obsolete, and it really does stay relevant in your collection far longer than you ever think something of this price would. But I hear you. It wasn't released in 2025. So I'm going to put it down. And I'm going to give you my next pick for Budget Balisong of the Year, the Orion S. Specifically, my comb version that I got from Blade Show. This thing fixes so many issues that I have with the balance of the Orion. The original Orion trainer just feels kind of weird. Not the live blade. The live blade, especially with the zippy inserts, is one of my favorite sub-$100 Balisongs of all time for a live blade, mostly because it's really the only sub-$100 actually live blade that you can get. But the balance on it is phenomenal. And if the trainer was balanced anything like the live blade, the trainer would actually be my favorite. And that's where the Orion S comes in, because the Orion S feels a little bit more like the live blade. You've got a little bit more handle weight. It makes it feel a little bit more consistent. It just makes it feel neutral and fun, but it's now combined into all the wonderful package that makes the Orion great. It's got these chamfers that make it feel round yet still square. It's got great jimping, and it comes in at a great price. And it is my dream Balisong of a comb blade, because I love functional blades like that aren't just sharp. I love comb blades. I wish there were more of them. And the Orion S is absolutely the best flipping comb blade that I have ever tried. It really is sick. It is one of my underappreciated Balisongs in my collection, because I don't carry it around as much as I carry around the cheese, even though I probably should. Honestly, I'm probably going to switch this into my bag now that I mention this, because this is way more useful to have in a bag than just the cheese. But I really do like it. And I can already hear you saying, that's not a budget Balisong. You always say budget sub-$100, and the Orion S is over $100. True. I think they might have been a little cheaper at Blade Show. I can't remember entirely. So here is my pick for sub-$100 Balisong that actually released in 2025 that I'm pretty sure you can still buy. The Thomas Balisong Refault, specifically the carbon fiber version. I actually, if you give me 1 second, have this returned from the person that I lent it to for a little bit of TLC, mostly just oiling it back up and making sure it flips well. And it's been an awesome reminder of just how much the carbon fiber changes things on the Refault. Don't get me wrong, the G10 version is still good. If you're a beginner, this more handle-biased, focused version of it would be probably the better option. But it really does surprise me just how much more neutral and lightweight the carbon fiber version of the Refault feels. Because functionally, these are the same Balisong. It's the same blade, it's the same width, it's the same dimensions, it's all this stuff. But the carbon fiber one just feels so agile and light and just fun to flip. Whereas when I switch over to the G10 model, it feels a little bit more sluggish and slow. It's obvious that there's more weight distributed throughout those handles. It carries a little bit more momentum, which means it's harder to stop and start, which means it feels a little less agile. Not a bad experience whatsoever. Again, especially as a beginner, that extra handle bias will end up helping you. But in terms of my favorite, the carbon fiber just does it differently. My flipping style definitely prefers something a little bit more light and agile as the carbon fiber Refault, and especially the Tonto version, more tip weight, better fans, you know the deal. So there you go. All of my picks for cheaper, budget-oriented Balisongs from 2025. Again, things like the Impulse are great. They're excellent. They flip really well. But they just don't rise above the cheese or the Refault or the Orion S for me, especially when the difference between these is $20. I think if you can spend the extra money, maybe you should stretch. But if you can't, you are still getting a phenomenal Balisong with the Impulse. Definitely one of the best values in the Balisong community is the Impulse. But my heart belongs to others. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you had a wonderful 2025. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season coming up. I will do my best to keep up with the daily uploads, but I will be taking a break in early January after the Bally Awards and after all of these uploads are complete. I want to thank all of you for the support this year, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.